Good morning, YouTube. What's going on? It's Mesa Fail back at it with some Destiny. And look at my Huntress. She looks so cool with her almost all Vault of Glass gear. I need the helmet. Alright, we're looking at my Rapid Machine gear. I got all of the exotics, the adept weapons, and we're going to test them out in my favorite place, which is the Dreadnought, but I fired up the Nightfall because the final weapon I want to test out is going to be the Steel Medulla. So, Genesis Chain, if you're not familiar, now this thing has solar burn to it. And it's got Focus Fire and Focus Fire Fly, which you saw just proc right there for a second. Let's see if we can get it to proc on this dude right here, which is going to come in very handy with anything with a solar burn and with a whole bunch of adds, because the actual explosion from Firefly, and there's a chest there, we'll skip that, the actual explosion from Firefly also counts as solar damage. This thing gonna die? Knight, please die. Look at that, my last bullet can't take him out. Mesa fell. And he puts up a shield. I'm just gonna nade you. There you go, you're dead. Alright, well, let's get it to proc right there. Can you proc? And there we go. Alright, so it did a bunch of damage to when that Acolyte Eye. Yeah, look at this thing. So this thing wrecks as is, but when it comes to solar burn, this thing's gonna be a lot of fun. So let's take a look at the perks in case you're not familiar with before this guy wastes me, and I'm not messing with the Taken here. So it's got Focus Fire Fly and Focus Fire, so pretty good damage. Range is not the greatest on this thing. Focus Fire Fly, while Focus Fire is active, precision kills cause the target to explode. You can go with Speed Reload, High Caliber Rounds, Hammer Forged. That's what I go with. Field Choke, Accurized Ballistics, and Linear Compensator. Does bonus damage to Fallen, and you get bonus agility when this thing is equipped. So, liking it so far. Let's look at the Chaos Dogma. Now, one of my favorite weapons as is, except now, it's got Arc Burn, and it just looks cooler. Look at that. It looks so good. So we have Triple Tap. Rapidly landing precision hits will return 1 round to the magazine. Triple Double. When Triple Tap perk is triggered, an extra bullet is transferred from your reserves to the magazine. So this thing, when you're laying into like a crit spot, oh, you're just going to get so many rounds. It says only 16 here with extended mag, but as this is proccing over and over, this thing can go well over 20. I'm not exactly sure the number, but you can go with extended magazine, you can go with speed reload, or you can go with small bore. I go with extended magazine because I want lots of bullets. So I don't know if there's really any bosses or anything here I can get numerous crit shots here, because you got to rapidly land them. 1, 2, and it just, this thing does kick like a mule if you go with extended magazine. Can I get something here? No, all right, there's gonna be no bosses around here. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, there it goes, a proc right there. So you saw it pull some ammo right there. Right there. 1, 2, 3. There it goes. Okay, yeah. So I think for like regular ads and stuff, but I'm trying to think, okay, am I going to use this thing over my Fang of Ryu? My Fang of Ryu, that's the Crota Zen Scout Rifle. Now, the Fang of Ryu is less damage, less impact. However, it does have spray and play. I think that's going to be better for like ad control. But on an Arc, a Nightfall or Arc Weekly Heroic, oh, you see Triple Tap keeps procking. Hold on. Get the proc again. There it goes. Triple tap, triple double, and you're wasted. I don't know. I'm going to kind of mess around. If you guys got both of these, which one do you prefer? For if you're going to go into an Arc Nightfall or something like that, which would you prefer? All right, let's take a look at the Fever and Remedy. Now, I was never a fan of this thing, but when weapons look cool, it makes me want to use them. And this thing looks cool now. So, once again, this thing does, well, all of them do bonus damage to Fallen. You get bonus agility. This one's got Smart Drift Control, Accurized Ballistics, Field Choke. We got Reactive Reload, and you have Quick Reaction, so gain increased agility while the Reactive Reload perk is active. Hammer Forge, Speed Reload, and Reinforced Barrel. Now, I am not a fan of Reactive Reload. I would, you know, when it comes to a perk for that position, I would prefer Crowd Control. Now, I do notice you got to reload this thing like almost instantly when you get that kill. So, killed, reload, and we're going to see the Battle Runner perk kick in. Yeah. It's basically like Battle Runner. You get a whole boatload of damage, and you run around really fast. So, but I've noticed that you got to reload it just like literally right after you get that kill for it to actually kick in. Let's see, 1350, and it went down. Okay, actually, you know what? Let's do some testing here. Let's see. Can I get a kill? Is there any hive up here? Of course, there's no hive up here exactly when I want to. Let's go back around this way here, and let's see if we can get a kill, and then test that damage out. Of course, here we go. All right, you're dead. That was 2465. And what about you? Alright, 3285. Alright, that's a pretty considerable amount of damage. You PvPers out there, do you guys like using Reactive Reload PvP? I personally don't. I would rather have Crowd Control personally, just for the fact that when I kill a Guardian and I do that quick, well, if I do an instant reload, there's probably not going to be another Guardian around in terms of me benefiting from Reactive Reload. So, I don't know, this thing's okay. You know what, look. For solar, I have Vision of Confluence. I've got Genesis Chain. All right, here, let's test some damage out again. So that was 2465. I did the reload, but I waited a little bit, and it didn't proc. Yeah, you got to proc it immediately. I mean, you have to reload it. So here we go. Press reload real quick. We'll check the damage here. 3285. Let's wait for it to go away. And hit you again. 2465. So, you know, it does a lot of damage, though. And this thing is a high impact hand cannon. So, you guys, in the comment section, I want to hear from you. Do you guys like reactive reload on your weapons? So, that's it for the weapons, except for Steel Medulla. So, let's go into the Nightfall and have some fun with this thing. It's Void Burn. The Steel Medulla's back. It looks cool. I just love my Hunter. Look at her. She looks so good. I got to get the helmet, and I know my stats are all jacked. All right, let's jump into the part of the Nightfall where it's actually Void Burn. All right, so before we go into the Nightfall, first off, look how cool the Steel Medulla looks. But there's a big old Colossus out there, and I want to show you the main perk. Sign of 4. Landing 3 bursts on a target causes the 4th burst to do extra damage. Got full auto, got high caliber rounds, speed reload, hand laid stock. So you could be ballistic, smart drift control, smooth ballistics, the usual bonus damage to fallen, and bonus agility. You can see here you can max out your stability. God, I love the way this thing looks. So where's Mr. Colossus, man? He was out here a second ago, and now he disappeared. There he is. So let's look at the damage. So we're doing 256, and then you can see in the next burst. Nope, I missed that burst right there. All right, let's try this again. Here we go. Burst, burst, burst. 256s. All right, so from 256s to any, what was that, 350s? Yeah, let's do this again. 256, 256, and 330s. 339s roughly about. Okay, so that's a sign of 4. That's not what we want to test. Let's go test out how this thing shreds in the Nightfall. Alright, so we're in the Nightfall, and when it comes to Void Burn, we normally have a Word of Crota. Wow, hold on. This thing shreds. Oh my god, this is so good. When it comes to Void, what do we got? We got Word of Crota. We've got ATHOEN. Oh, I can't get over how this thing just shreds. I don't like the reload speed on this thing. I haven't used this thing in a while, but for Void Burn, this thing just shreds. Alright, so when it comes to Void Burn, what do we got? We have Word of Crota. We've got ATHOEN's Epilogue, which can be fun in some Void Burn situation. And then we've also got the King's Fall Scout Rifle, the Doom of Kelkus. And you know what? We're just going to tether all you because you guys are annoying. There we go. And yeah, it just shreds. Well, I mean, these guys are tethered, so what's good? But everything else. All right, these guys have Void Shields. Look at it. Took the shield right really quickly. I'm liking this thing so far. I was trying to think. Would I use this over the Doom of Kelkus? I don't know. And I just ran out of ammo. I run out of ammo real quick. And, oh, because I'm not picking up any ammo. Don't worry, I have corrective measure. That's it. You're all going to get wasted now anyway. Love corrective measure. Man, I miss this thing. All right, so that's pretty much it for the weapons, guys. I'm going to say my favorite, Genesis Chain for sure. And I'm thinking when it comes to Void Burn, I don't know. I'm going to mix and match between this and the Void Doom of Kelkus. This thing's doing really well right now. But I'm wondering when it comes to, like, a boss, right? Is it, like, that Colossus I was laying into? Is it really going to make that much of a difference in terms of damage? Because this thing, as is pretty good in the damage department. And there's another Colossus back there. Maybe we can get some damage numbers on him. Let's see. So what does he got? That was 2 something. All right, here we go. So 4th burst. What do we got? All right, it goes up to in the 300s. It was kind of hard to see. Oh, there we go. Was that like, yeah, so it went up from 2,000 to 3,000. All right, so this is pretty good, guys. I think I'll be definitely using this, but I'll be playing around with it and kind of bouncing back and forth. So if you're going to tell, unscripted, Babble Modes engaged, guys, your support today on the stream was redonkulous. We had over 800 viewers at one time. I could not believe how many donations came in. I guess everyone figured out where the donation bar is and that it's as easy to donate on YouTube streaming as it is on Twitch. And we got about 500 new subs today. So, guys, you guys are phenomenal. Had a grand old time today. We should be streaming later on today. We got to do some Vault of Glass runs, and later in the week we'll be doing some raid carries. Now it might be Crota, it might be Vault of Glass, it might even be Wrath of the Machine. I don't know. My crew, we are a well-oiled machine right now in terms of rating. So that's it, guys. Do me a favor, drop a like at this video, only if you see fit. Follow me on Twitter at Mesa Sean. Check out my stream, usually and always on YouTube. That's it. I'm out of here like Vladimir. God, I'm loving the Vault of Glass gear look. All right, you know what? On my Titan, I've got the helmet and I've got the gloves. But then I've got the King's Fall chest, class item, and boots. So my Titan does not look very good right now. Anyway, that's it, guys. I love you.